This video is brought to you by Patreon. By signing up on the Fat Pack Magic Patreon, you get early access to all content, as well as grab bags of valuable cards and amazing mats exclusive to patrons. You can help keep coverage for Paper Magic alive by showing your support on the Fat Pack Magic Patreon today.
Hello guys and welcome back to Fat Pack Magic. We're here at Darkside Games for their Pioneer 1K event, sponsored by CVVegas.com. Now on the left we got Rachel Weeks playing Black Devotion, and on the right, we've got my good friend, Justin Franco, playing Selesnya Enchantress. But you know what? He's gonna play Sram Jam, the deck name that I think this deck should have had since the inception, and honestly, it's the best name for this deck. So both players are gonna come down in Sram if they want to jam. And it looks like both players are keeping Rachel, starting off with the Swamp and passing the turn back to Justin. Justin's got a great turn one play here, and it's a Glade Cover Scout. While it's not a Boggle, it's pretty similar to a Boggle. It's got the hexproof that really helps this deck be consistent and basically be immune to removal. Now, unfortunately, Liliana the Veil is not in this format, so one of the key things that keeps Boggles in check in Modern isn't available to Rachel at the moment. But she does have a 2/3 Gifted Aetherborn that's going to have Death Touch and Lifelink, keeping Glade Cover on defense. And Justin pops out a Season of Growth, which is going to help even out his draws and turn all of his auras into cantrips, meaning that even if his Glade Cover Scout dies, he's going to be drawing cards off of each enchantment and not really lose card advantage. Looks like Rachel deciding on what she wants to play out, and it looks like it's another Gifted Aetherborn. And this is going to allow her to swing in, gaining 2 life, dealing 2 to Justin, and keeping another Aetherborn back on defense. Justin's draw for the turn, and it looks like he's shifting all that glitters. And that's going to turn it in the Scout into a 3/3 and draw him a card off the Season of Growth. I guess he's really proud of that card that he's drawn for turn. I guess Adanto Vanguard is a really, really good card. And honestly, I think Adanto is really strong in this deck as well. I mean, a lot of the creatures in this deck either provide immense card advantage or they're just incredibly resilient, which goes in with the fact that they need those enchantments to basically win out the game. Rachel's played her land for turn. Looks like she's counting up. And here comes a Nykthos activation that's going to add 4 black to her pool. Another black for... Wait, what? I'm not doing the math wrong, am I? 2 Gifted Aetherborn is 4. Nykthos activation is 3. She's added 1... She can't cast Bolas' Citadel is 5 mana. But I guess it's just gonna go through. Alright, so Rachel has cast Bolas' Citadel, crashing in for 2 damage, bringing Justin down to 14 and gaining 2 life, putting her up to 24. And she's going to need all the life she can get because Bolas' Citadel is going to cost her a bit of life just to start using the cards. But here comes Justin with another All That Glitters. Both of these enchantments getting +3/+3, drawing him another card. And here's another Glade Cover Scout. Just kind of pop it in to say hi and be a chump blocker. Oh, and Season of Growth allows him to scry, which is pretty good because it's a creature, so he gets to scry. I mean, this is a really interesting deck, and I'm really glad I get to see it on camera. And it looks like he's not going to have a land drop for the turn, but that's not too bad. His deck can run off of 2 or 3 lands. Rachel draws, plays her land for the turn, looks at the top with the Bolas' Citadel, and doesn't seem to be anything that she can cast. Which is really unfortunate, because Bolas' Citadel can really just push out some amazing stuff. And here's another Nykthos activation, adding 7 black mana to her mana pool, and 2 for a Yarok's Fenlurker, exiling 2 cards from Justin's hand. And that's going to be a little rough, because he's going to need all the cards he can get, and he's only down to 2 cards in hand. And he's got to use the Glade Cover Scout as a chump blocker. Now another All That Glitters is going to go on to that freaking Glade Cover Scout that still can't attack. And Justin is stuck just looking at this big, beefy Glade Cover Scout that's a 4, 8, 12, 13, 13. And it's being held back by a Gifted Aetherborn. And now Rachel, using Nykthos again, here's 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 mana, no, 11 mana into her pool, and using 3 immediately to draw a card off Castle Lochthwain. She's going to lose a couple life, go down to 24, go down to 22 to play another Gifted Aetherborn. And it looks like she's just going to pass the turn, but crashing in for a ton of damage. There's 2, 4, 5 damage, 6 with the other Fenlurker. Unfortunately, she's not going to be able to use all that Nykthos mana because she didn't pump it into 1 before damage, or well, before her attacks. But Justin is down to 9. And Rachel is going to gain 4 life, and that's going to put her back up to 26. With that, Bolas' Citadel just able to draw her a ton of cards. And the Castle Lochthwain to kind of get through some of the lands she might be blocked against. Now, Justin really needs something strong here. He really needs something to get through those Gifted Aetherborns. Otherwise, he's just going to outright die or have to chump block. The Sentinel's Eyes is 1 mana, and it's a decent little cantrip. But here's a Hushbringer. This is a really interesting part to his deck. It's going to say that creatures entering the battlefield or dying, they don't trigger. They don't cause abilities to trigger. So that means that death triggers on other creatures. So like sacrifice abilities for like Devil's Mayhem or something like that. Those abilities aren't going to trigger. But most importantly, Gary's not going to trigger. So Jessica draws her turn, plays out Karn, the Great Creator, taking 4 life, going down to 22. I'm not sure what Karn is going to really do in this deck. I feel like maybe he's just going to search out for a Bolas' Citadel. I guess that's his main job. But she's got one in play already. Now she's got a ton of mana. She could probably draw another card with that Castle Lochthwain. She's not under any pressure except the looming presence of a Glade Cover Scout that is unable to get through her Gifted Aetherborn. Now, eventually, he's going to have to start blocking, but right now, he seems pretty safe. And Rachel delivering a Thoughtseize and Unflinching Courage, but she's going to take the Adanto Vanguard instead. But that Unflinching Courage could really provide Justin with a critical turn, even if he just has to swing in. A land drop from Rachel, and that's another Nykthos, as if she didn't have enough mana in her pool already. And it looks like she's going to cast Liliana, the Last Hope, taking 3 life. But the really cool thing is she's going to be able to mill away a couple of those dead cards if she sees them with the Bolas' Citadel. And right now, Justin is kind of... I guess he's very grateful to have that Unflinching Courage, because it could probably gain him a ton of life and essentially reset the clock that Rachel is trying to deliver. She's looking at a card. And here comes Grey Merchant of Asphodel, affectionately named Gary. Rachel's going to pay 5 life. However, Hushbringer says that isn't going to trigger. So Rachel is not only going to not gain the life, she is not going to kill Justin. And that would have been a very, very fat Gary. 2, 4, 6, 8, 11, 13, 15 with the Gary. And Hushbringer just kind of chilling there, saying, shh, be quiet. And now Rachel is going to have to face down an Unflinching Courage, and she's going to have to be able to survive that assault as well. Because an Unflinching Courage is going to be a 3 power buff on each of the All That Glitters, and 2 power on itself, and most importantly, lifelink. So Rachel's got to figure out a way through it. I mean, keep the offense train going. She can't really swing with that lurker because it's going to be able to be blocked by the Hushbringer, which is a 1/2. But here comes a lot of damage aimed right at Franco's face. 2, 4, 5 damage. And also that Bolas' Citadel is almost online. So it looks like Justin is going to block the Fen Lurker, take 4, and go down to 5. And Rachel is going to gain 4 and go back up to 12 life. And look at that Glade Cover Scout with all those enchantments on it. Liliana is going to give the Hushbringer -1 or -2/-1, making it an 0/1. And Justin, very wise not to block there with it. So here comes Unflinching Courage. Justin gets a draw trigger off that land. It's a Glade Cover Scout, or off that thing. And wow, here we go. 2, 3, 3, 4. Each of those giving +6/+6, so 6, 12, 18, 19, 21, 22 damage. Lifelink and Trample coming right in at Rachel. No, she's just shy of being able to survive the hit. And game 1 is going to go to Justin Franco. And I think that Thoughtseize not hitting that Unflinching Courage was probably the death knell for Rachel. That and Hushbringer and Gary did not have a good combination together. But we're going to see if Rachel can get the Bolas' Citadel train going in game 2. And here we go. We're on to game 2. Now, Rachel is going to be on a mulligan. However, her deck is not particularly primed against Justin. Liliana the Veil is not legal in the Pioneer format. And in all honesty, there's not really much she can do to interact with Justin's hexproof creatures. She's got Gifted Aetherborn that's going to be able to do defensive duty, but if Justin is able to assemble the Voltron of all the enchantments, then she's going to be in a tough position. Now, if she had Fatal Push against that Hushbringer and dropped a Gary, might be a different story. So she's going to have to keep her eye out for that little Shushin Fairy. So Justin seems to have a slow start as well. No turn 1 drop or no turn 2 drop. And Rachel is pretty calm as well. But here's Justin, land 3. I mean, I've never seen this before. I mean, normally, Glade Cover Scout is a necessary card to keep a hand. And Rachel dropping a Liliana, the Last Hope, and getting another turn with it as Justin plays a land and passes back. He must have just like a stack of good enchantments. And here again, Bolas' Citadel coming down on turn 5. I don't know. I really don't know what to say about that. So Justin finally finds his Glade Cover Scout and straps it on with a bunch of equipment, a Sentinel's Eyes, and 2 Ethereal Armors. And here's one thing that drives me crazy about Ethereal Armor. Ethereal Armor is 1 white, gives it +1/+1 for each enchantment, and it gives it First Strike. All that glitters is 2 mana, and it doesn't even give First Strike, but I guess it counts artifacts. I guess that's worth the First Strike. I really don't think so. So Rachel starts her turn milling 2 with Liliana to be able to dig a bit deeper with that Bolas' Citadel. And if she can drop a Gary, that would be a huge hit here, because Gary would gain a lot of life to Rachel and allow her a bit of breathing room against this incredibly powerful Glade Cover Scout. And it's strapped with 2 Ethereal Armors and a Sentinel's Eyes, and now a Cetessan Training, which is going to give it +1/+0 and draw a card. Justin plays a land into play, all that glitters, and a Griff's Boon. So this creature is now 6, 12, 13, 14, 20, 21, 22 damage coming right in at Rachel's face with flying. And that is a match win for Justin. Wow, that was, I mean, both of them had a slow start, but holy crap, 1 turn and Justin was able to get lethal in there with a flying Glade Cover Scout that was strapped to the tits with enchantments. But that's going to be it for us this time on Fat Pack Magic. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, tap that notification bell so you're up to the know whenever I put out a new video, and leave a like, not just for me, but for my players too. And if you like this content and you want to support us, come check us out at Patreon. But until next time, may all your packs be fat.